I was an Army kid. My dad was a civil engineer. We moved a great deal. I went to probably 6 schools before I left high school. We lived in the Sun Belt, places where there was lots of development work for him. Southern California, Florida, Arizona. Tucson became home for me at some point along the way. It's where I went to high school. And that desert landscape was beautiful and compelling, and an interesting cultural life too. Over the course of my adult life, I've gradually been making my way east. So I spent some time in Boston, in Vermont, and moved to Provincetown in 1990. This was just after my partner, whose name was Wally Roberts, had tested HIV positive, and we were living in Vermont. And in those days, there were probably 6 people with AIDS in Vermont. No services at all. Provincetown was a mecca for us because we felt we could be accepted and recognized as a couple, and also because we knew it was a town that was prepared for helping people out who were sick. So we moved there. We had a marvelous time. Bought an old house, worked on repairing it, became very fond of that community, felt embedded in it. Wally died in 1994, and I'm so grateful that he had those years of being in that place first. It made it possible for both of us to have a much richer life. So I stayed on after his death and became, I would be there sometimes year-round. Sometimes I would travel for a semester to teach someplace. Gradually, I was away more and more, and then I felt like a summer person, which I didn't like so much. And my favorite times there are the spring and the fall, those sort of shoulder seasons when it's less crowded, but there's still a feeling of life. I stayed for 15 years, and then felt around 2005 that it was time for a change. I needed something fresh and different. So sold my house at sort of just the right moment, and since then have lived in New York City and on Long Island out in the East End.